being a man of your word actually has nothing to do with anyone else. It has nothing to do with the people that you gave your word to. It has everything to do with you and the standards that you set and the standards that you keep. So, one of my friends, she just had a baby and she's looking to get back into working out. And I was like, I'll hook you up with a program. I'll get something sorted for you and we'll get something set up, all right? And I told her that I'd do it. I thought I got the information, told her I'd set it up. Anyway, I forgot. I completely forgot. And then, we're just having a conversation today and we were discussing it. And I was like, you should come to my gym and have a workout and I'll get some things sorted for you. And she's like, well, you said you'd sort me a workout and you didn't. And I was like, fuck. I did say that. I did. And I got frustrated. I got really frustrated with myself about the whole thing. And she was like, don't stress it. Like, I know you're an incredibly busy guy and you were helping me out and it's all good. And I was like, I really appreciate that you're so understanding about this. And I was. She was super cool about it and she was like, whatever. But it isn't about that. I'm grateful to you that you're understanding. But what this is about is I gave my word. I said I was going to do something. That means it needs to get fucking done. End of story. That's just how this shit works. If I say it's going to get done, it needs to get done. Because that's my word, that's my bond. And when we're talking about becoming a man of your word, it flows into all of your areas. And so I'm really disappointed in myself on this. Yeah, I am busy. Yeah, I've got a shit ton going on. Yeah, I have, a lot on my plate, so sometimes things fall off the side. That doesn't make it an acceptable thing. It means I need to get better at A, prioritizing, and B, working out what needs to get done and keeping records of that. And I think this is one of those things that often gets overlooked when we're talking about being a man of your word. That's so much of what demanding greatness is about. Yeah, we're going to do it through the physical capacity. Yeah, we're going to completely transform your body and your physique, and you're going to become a fucking badass in the gym, and you're going to feel amazing, and your body's going to function better, and all those kinds of things. But what this is about is becoming a man of your word, becoming a disciplined man, a man who has grit, who has fortitude, who has focus, who has the ability to follow through on the things he says he's going to do. Those skills are more important than anything else in this world. They are more important than anything else you could possibly do. That shit matters. And that's what this is about. I just use physical fitness as the tool to deliver it. And yeah, being in great shape has all the other benefits, as we've discussed many times. It's a billboard to the world about these skills. You being in great shape says to the world, I have discipline, I have self-control, I'm a man of my word, I can do things and follow through. But you also then need to make sure that those things transition into every other area. As I said, I dropped the ball on this and I put my hand up and I owned it. And I'm irritated with myself about it because I don't want to be that one-dimensional man. The rise of the dad bod, which, as we've discussed before, is a fucking joke of a concept, an absolute joke of a concept. But it became this thing because of, I think there are many facets, but one of the reasons they give you for why the dad bod is desirable is because guys who are in shape are fucking obsessed and they can't live their life and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, well, that means you become too one-dimensional. It means you aren't participating in the other areas. It means you aren't taking the skills that can be developed through physical training and transferring them to other areas of your life. That's an issue. That has nothing to do with being in great fucking shape. That has nothing to do with guys who look after themselves and present themselves well and who are able to show up and do whatever the fuck they want at any point, at any moment. No, it has nothing to do with that. It means that, well, to be honest, you probably dated some douche monkeys. That the girls who are saying this have dated douche monkeys and they're just obsessed with themselves. That's a different animal. You can't lump in people who work out and look after their bodies and all of them being like, oh, they're all douche monkeys. It's like saying every guy who lifts is on steroids or every guy who works out is an angry asshole. No. They're usually the really, really small minority, but they're the ones that people know. It doesn't make it an accurate depiction of those people. If anything, I think it's like all of those things. Whether you want to make it steroids, money, a great body, and, power, success, all of those kinds of things, they just make you more of you. So if you're already a knob jockey to start with, well, lo and behold, you become more of a knob jockey. It doesn't make you that way. You're just amplifying who you already are. But I think it becomes a really important thing. As I said, this whole foundational principle of demanding greatness is that it's not just the fitness. It's not just showing up every day to work out. It's about everything else that comes with it. It's about the man you become along the way. It's about who you become to become the greatest version of yourself. That's what we're working towards. This side? And that's the thing. Sorry, man. That matters most. That's the thing that really gets you to the point that matters. That you show up in every single area of your life as the greatest version. You take those skills that you learn from that to become the greatest version of you. We're not just trying to get into great shape. We're not just throwing, a stick in the dark. We are trying to become the greatest version of you. But you can't do that. You can't undertake that until you do, the fitness first, until you look after the physical process first, until you look after the thing that creates every other aspect of your life. Until you do that shit, well, what the fuck's the point? And yeah, I'm sure I'm going to get some backlash and people are like, oh, you can be successful and have a great life without being in great shape. Yeah, you can, but you're leaving shit on the table. You are leaving potential on the table. You are, again, becoming one-dimensional in other areas. You are showing that you can do something here, but you aren't showing the discipline across the whole life. You aren't showing that you are willing and able to show up in all areas of your life. Yeah, you might be successful in business or whatever it might be, but you lack the other things. That means you could be even more successful. Because, well, if you can't control what you put in your mouth, and then you can't control how you utilize your body, literally the vehicle that delivers everything else in your fucking life, well, you are not being the greatest version of yourself. You are letting yourself down. You could be so much better than this. You could be so much better than this if you were willing to show the fuck up, if you were willing to do what was required. But you have to get stuck the fuck in. You have to learn these skills. You have to build out the discipline and the focus and the consistency and the intensity to be able to do this. This is where you need to get to on this. This is where it is a requirement of it that being a man of your word is not just that you work out, not just that you do these kinds of things. It's that, well, you show up in every area of your life. That you show up as a man of your word. If you say something to someone, well, now it's getting done. End of fucking story. And I spoke about this before. it's really easy to erode that trust. And it's really fucking hard to build it. And I was there. Part of what triggered me to create this process was, well, I was there as a man who had eroded the trust. My wife didn't trust me when I said I was going to do something. Because why the fuck would she? I hadn't. I'd constantly say, yeah, I'll do that, and then fucking forget. Get caught up in my own world. It wasn't a deliberate thing. It wasn't that I was, deliberately neglecting her. And she knew this. Like, it wasn't like I was lying. It was just, well, I got caught up and I do other shit and life happens and so on and so forth. But that doesn't make it an acceptable answer. Like, this is the one that often comes up for people, and they give me these excuses as to why they can't exercise, or why they can't eat right, or why they can't do it, or why they can't invest now, or why they can't do the things. And I was like, look, this is the worst kind of thing for it. It's what I call a justifiable excuse. Because, yeah, I get where you're coming from. I 100% understand what you're saying. I 100% understand where you're coming from and why that makes it difficult. I really do. It's still a fucking excuse. Bar being, completely fucking bedbound and you cannot get up and do anything, and doctor's orders are that basically you're strapped down into the bed and you can't do anything. You have the capacity, one way or another, to figure this the fuck out. Does it mean it's going to be comfortable? Fuck no. Does it mean it's going to be easy? Probably not. But is it going to be worth it? Yes. You just have to make the fucking decision to do what it takes. As I often come back to, we all have time. And I will say this on that. I used to say that before I had children. We all have the same 24 hours. No, we fucking don't. We do not have the same 24 hours. I have discussions with my friends who don't have children, and I was like, you and me, we don't live the same. Not even fucking remotely. You don't understand the same battles of being tired if you don't have, a small human crawling into your bed at 1 a.m. and then kicking you in the back like a drunken fucking octopus for a couple of hours. We don't live the same life, no. But we still have the same opportunities. Just because it's harder, just because it's going to take more, just because you have more demanding of you, doesn't mean that it doesn't get done. Doesn't mean that you should avoid it. No. You still have to do it. It just means that, well, unfortunately for you, the price and the sacrifice is higher. Okay? That sucks. I understand that. They are justifiable excuses, but it still is an excuse. You have the capacity. So therefore we must figure it the fuck out. Especially if you have children. I cannot see it any other way than you must, non-negotiable, figure this the fuck out, health and fitness, for your children. You are setting the standard for them. And at any point, you can have grown-ass adult children and still be setting the standard. I have had clients whose children who were, let's be realistic here, they were nearly as old as me, started working out for the first time in their life because their parents did. Because their parents were like, I'm gonna fucking do this, and committed and did it. At any stage, you can set the standard and change the outcome for your entire family. This is on you. But it's about keeping your word. It's about setting those standards. So yeah, it can be much more difficult if you have all these things going on, but you have the capacity. You have the ability to just do something. Look, I've spoken to a couple of guys and they're the blue collar workers, and to be honest, I feel them on it. They're talking 14, 16-hour work days and they've got kids and a wife and stuff like that. And I'm like, look, demanding greatness is not for you, my friend. You're out there killing yourself. But I give them the advice on how they could tweak their nutrition, how they could tweak some other areas so that they can keep pushing forward in other areas. But they're the exceptions to the rules. And even them, they're the guys who are like, well, how do I do this? How do I figure something out for this? Fucking love that shit. I'll help you on that shit. Because, well, yeah, Maybe we can't do demanding greatness because there is a time requirement. But if your time on your phone or in front of a TV or anything like that is even remotely close to the average person's, which I'm guessing it is, let's be fucking realistic here, you have time and capacity. You've just got to make a decision about that. You have the time and capacity to do it. You're just wasting that fucking time on it. Hell, this is what I do. This is what I dedicate my life to. And I'm still trying to curb all those things back down to zero because I'm wasting time on shit that doesn't serve me. And I don't think that battle will ever end. I don't. We live in a world that's full of that stuff, so I don't think the battle of wasting time on shit that doesn't serve you will ever end. It'll be an ongoing, continuous battle, but you must keep fighting that battle. You must keep forging forward and doing the work on that. Because you need to become this man in all areas of your life. You need to become a man of your word in all areas of your life. That if you say it, it is getting done. It becomes a zero choice mentality. There is no other option. No other option. And also it means being realistic about things. So if you aren't going to do something, if you don't legitimately think that you can do something, you don't have to say yes. That's part of the other concept that you'll gain from this. One of those other skills that comes from doing this is just because someone asks you to do it doesn't mean you have to say yes to it. You can say fucking no. Yeah, you might offend some people, but you'll quickly discover who's there to utilize you, who's there to use you, who's there on your side really, really fucking quickly when you start saying no to requests that don't serve your highest good. And no, that's not selfish. It's selfless because it opens you up to do the things that actually matter. It opens you up to serve those who actually matter to you. Because I know so many people who take on shit that they shouldn't, that's outside their zone of genius, that outside of what would be an acceptable bounds, and doesn't serve them. It only serves the person that they're doing it for. And the worst offenders are usually your family who are outside of your wife and children. Don't let it happen. You can say no to shit. Because that also strengthens your bond. It also means if you say yes, you have indicated that it is something that matters and that you're actually going to get it the fuck done. If you just say yes to everything and then don't do it and don't follow through and don't commit to those things, well, it just makes you a bit of a dick, to be honest. And that's part of why I was so irritated with myself on this, because I don't want to be that fucking guy. I don't want to be the guy who says yes and then doesn't do the work. Who just flippantly throws it around, whose word becomes nothing because he doesn't actually follow through. Yeah, it's going to cost me time. It's something that's time I could be earning money with. But it's a good friend and they deserve the assistance and the help. So therefore, I'm giving my word to it. And this is one of those situations where I had to weigh up whether it was worth giving my word and offering help. And I decided that it was. So therefore I need to. Thus also why I feel guilty and irritated with myself that I didn't follow through. But so much of this is deeper and bigger than just fitness. Bigger than just your body. Bigger than this. It's about building your life to be the greatest version of yourself. That is what we're out here for. And I don't understand these people who are like, oh, well, what's the point of that? Like, we're not put on this earth to fucking exist. We're put on this earth to do great things, to live a great fucking life, to lead by example, and to show up as the best version of ourselves in every possible area. We want to keep growing. We don't want to just sedate. We don't want to just exist. We don't want to just clock in, clock out, and wait till the day we die. And if you do, well, have at it. But this isn't the place for you. This is not what life is about. Life is about pushing forward. Life is about being the greatest version of yourself. Life is about constantly growing and developing and seeing who you can become. Life is bigger than just existing. Because, well, that's a really, really sad fucking way to view the world. And I'm just here to exist. I'm not going to contribute anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to grow. I'm not going to work on myself. I'm not going to develop. I'm not going to enrich other people's lives. I'm just going to exist. Or worse yet, I'm going to attack people who do try and uplift others because, well, fuck my life. Well, at the end of the day, all of your life is within your control. All of it. Your life is a direct reflection of your thoughts, your habits, and your actions. So, make better choices. Take better actions. Think better thoughts. Start leveling up. Get around people who want to level up. Get around people who are pushing their limits and want to grow. Don't just sedate. Don't just exist. Don't just flow through life hating this existence. No, get out there and do stuff to be the best version of yourself. Get out there and, well, demand greatness of your life. Demand greatness of yourself. You'll find way better satisfaction in that. What was the one I saw the other day? Want to find happiness? Undertake something so difficult that you don't think you can complete it, and then finish it. It's the quickest way to happiness right there. Is to actually go out there and do something really fucking hard. Really fucking hard. That seems impossible. That seems like you cannot do it. And then you figure it the fuck out. It's like we've spoken about before about a misogi. It's about this concept of a misogi. About getting out there and pushing you to your absolute fucking limits. Undertaking something that you don't think you can do. And then overcoming it. Figuring it the fuck out. Finding a new level for you to make that a reality. That's going to fill you up with satisfaction. That's going to fill you up with joy and happiness. That is going to drastically improve your life. But you can't just begin there. You have to start with being a man of your word. And the easiest way to start is with your physical fitness. It is to start at the beginning. It's to start committing to, well, something like demanding greatness that is really physically hard. And it takes a time commitment and a long-term commitment every single day. And you just do it. And you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and you do it. And you stack the wins day in, day out, over and over and over again. And soon enough, you'll be unrecognizable. Soon enough, you'll be a different fucking man. And you'll be so proud of the man you've become. Because, well, you kept showing up. You kept doing the work. You kept doing what was required. And that's the difference maker. And that's how you become the greatest version of yourself. So, now, if you are ready to actually step the fuck up and do what is required, if you are ready to become the man that you know you should be and start demanding greatness of yourself, click the link in my bio, join Demanding Greatness, and let's see who you can become when you go all in on your fucking self. It's time to become a man of your word, and I cannot wait to see it. Until then.